This video will demonstrate the correct procedure for horizontal stand disassembly and build-up in a safe and effective manner. To begin, use QMOS to find a stand that is ready to be disassembled. Check the range worksheet and color-coded sheet to make sure the stand does not go back to the mill. Before starting disassembly, pick up the stand using nylon straps and the crane and maneuver it to the washdown area. Using the Roll Shop high-pressure washer, remove any grease or dirt from the stand. Then, place the stand into the work area to be torn down. Loosen the set dog bolts. Relieve the hydraulic lines to relieve pressure on the stand cap. Unhook hydraulic, air, and oil lines. Be aware of slipping hazards from hydraulic fluid on the floor. Watch for broken air, oil, or hydraulic lines and fittings, and repair or replace as needed. Plug air-oil lines to keep the chocks from leaking on the floor. Remove the set dog bolts. Using the pneumatic impact gun, loosen the entry guide nut holding the C-clamp directly below the entry guide. And turn the C-clamp out of the way from the dovetail of entry. With the Roll Shop crane and the two-way chains, remove the entry guide from the rest bar. Place the guide box in the correct location. To disassemble the delivery, loosen the two C-clamps on the rest bar with the pneumatic impact gun. Unhook the spring and remove the top guide. Remove the two side guides. Then disconnect the bungee cord and remove the bottom guide. Place the guides in the inspection area. Loosen the bolts to remove the 4 stand wedges, one in each corner of the stand. Remove the cap pins by turning the hand wheels to relieve pressure. Then push the pins out by hand. Next, open the cap using the crane. Remove the breaker blocks above the sides of the rolls. Raise one side of the top roll with a strap and crane to create enough clearance to insert the second strap around the center of gravity of the roll. Lower the roll, remove the first strap, and center the crane above the second strap. Remove the roll and store it in a bearing person's storage area. Remove the bottom roll with strap and crane and also store it in bearing person's storage area. Using the section sheet database, print off the correct stand checklist. Hang the stand checklist on the stand. Find the roll number, ID number, and OD number on the build-up color code sheets. Check for shim size needed on shim size standard based on the OD number and any additional shims specified on the build-up sheet. Clean the housing windows and shims. Scrape, power wash, or sandblast if needed. Set the correct clean shims in clean housing for each side of roll clock windows. Find the proper set of rolls in the roll storage area. Using a strap and crane, place a strap around the bottom roll's center of gravity and place it into the stand housing. Make sure the ears of the chocks are flush with the stand housing, then bolt and tighten the roll into place. Reconnect hydraulic lines. Unplug and reconnect air oil lines. Using a strap and crane, move the top roll near the front of the stand, flip the chocks, then place the roll in the stand. Bolt it into place, but do not tighten so that you can adjust it later. Cap the stand using the following steps. Put breaker blocks on top of both chocks. Make sure the breaker blocks are centered on head screws. Bead blast or scrape breaker box if needed. Using the crane and nylon straps, close the stand cap. Reinstall the cap pins. Turn the hand wheels so that the rolls are faced out. Hook up hydraulic and air oil lines. Double check the bottom set dogs and shims to make sure everything is tight. Reattach and tighten the 4 stand wedges. Set the roll parting according to the section sheet roll gap value. Do not compensate for spring in the rolls. Open head screws enough to insert set bars in the roll gap. Hook up hydraulic unit line and pressurize the system to lift the top roll. Place set bars at both ends of the rolls, a maximum of 1 inch from the end. Release hydraulic pressure, letting the top roll down on set bars. Close both head screws until they contact the breaker blocks, tightening a few holes at a time, alternating between the 2 screws until they are as tight as possible by hand. Double check breaker blocks to make sure they are centered. Tap with a hammer to adjust. Check the set bar's tightness. Set bars should not move. Mark the top holes with a soapstone. Open both head screws 1 revolution. Place pins in holes to maintain head screw position. Pressurize the hydraulic unit to lift the top roll. Remove set bars. Close both head screws 1 revolution to the original marks and replace pins. Align top roll to bottom roll using the top set dogs, then recheck to make sure the pass is aligned. Tighten top roll set dog nuts. Wedge wood between idle ends of chocks to maintain parting while building the stand. Disconnect hydraulic unit from stand and turn hydraulic pump off. Install the entry box with the following procedure. Set entry box to the proper size per the section sheet. Install entry box on stand rest bar and tighten C-clamps. Center the entry box height between the rolls. Check by inserting your hand on the nose of the entry box, feeling to see that the gap is the same top to bottom. To adjust the height of the entry box, loosen the rest bar bolt and adjust by moving up or down with the rest bar adjusters as shown. Retighten rest bar and check height to see that it is correct. Now loosen the rest bar and move it in towards the spade end of the roll until the entry box is approximately 1 finger's width from the inside of the housing. Then retighten the rest bar. Install the delivery by first loosening the delivery rest bar and moving it to the spade end of the rolls. Leave at least 1 inch of play for adjustments. Then retighten the rest bar. Place 1 side guard on the rest bar lining it up square to the inside of the entry box nose, so that the entry box rollers are exposed. Hand tighten the C-clamps as you go. Next, take the bottom guide and slide it into place on the roll. Hook up the bungee cord to hold the guide into place. Now, take the second side guard and line it up in the same fashion. Square and with the entry rolls exposed. Place wood underneath the bottom guide and make sure that the C-clamps are tight. Push the guide in far enough so that approximately 1/8 inch of bottom roll is visible above the guide. Place a level on the guide and insert wood underneath the guide until it is level. Check to see what your roll gap is. Take that amount and add 3/8 of an inch to it. The total of these two measurements is the height of the wood that you will need to place on top of the bottom guide. Then take the top guide and setting it on top of the wood, push the guide forward the same distance as the nose of the bottom guide. Now, fill the top window of the side guards with wood. Carefully remove the wood. Hook the springs to the top guide and attach the chain. Then replace the wood so it is exactly as it was. Take the wood that you had in the gap and reinsert it to check that the gap is correct. Then double check the alignment. Next, add pass waters. Set the proper waters on the top and bottom rolls, ensuring proper alignment to the pass being used. Ensure proper alignment of waters to pass to prevent fire damage or cracking of a pass. After finishing the stand, execute stand build-up checklist. Checking item by item, verify that proper specifications were achieved. Call and have the stand verified by a mill person. Move stand to the mill or storage as required.